Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Demonius X here. You know me and need no introduction. Anyways, this is just a video response to Alpha Omega Sin. He mentioned game stores and game places that used to go and talk games, buy games, etc. There's quite a few game stores that I remember from the top of my head that have closed throughout the years, and one of them I'm going to name off that some people from Michigan may or may not know. In the Macomb County area. There was a place called Masquerade Games. It was in 10 Mile and Kelly. It was about, I'll say maybe 5 or 6 miles away from me. It was a long bike ride, but every time we had a little bit of spare change or a little bit of money, we'd go up there and see if we could score something. Sometimes we'd have to share a little bit of funds just to have a little bit of money to share to buy something, and we'd have to share it. And if we wanted it later, or if one of us got sick of it, we would either sell it to the other guy, or we'd work out some kind of plan. It worked out well. I know it sounds like a clusterfuck, but it really did work out. Anyways, Masquerade Games was a very magical place. You could play Pokemon if you'd like the card game. You can also play Magic the Gathering, and I believe there's another one from Forgotten Realms called Blood Moon, if memory serves me. They've held tournaments for all three, and I think they even did more than just those. But kids were there all the time, teenagers, people who were fans of Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, even adults were there. They would always go to the tournaments and play them after school. It would be the place to hang out for them after school, either after or before homework, whatever. I don't know how their families work. Anyways, I bought a lot of purchases at Masquerade Games before they closed, prior to their closing. And I have them next to me right now. Since this segment of this conversation or response is going to be the longest, I go ahead and get this out of the way. Okay, first game I picked up there was Bonk's Revenge for the TG16, and as you can probably tell, it's both box and book. Complete, really good condition. Ken didn't fuck around. He kept everything that he got in the best condition he could get it, and if it was beat up, he would clean it off, resell it, it would work just fine. But yeah, the sequel to Bonk's Adventure, right here, Bonk's Revenge. Blazing Lasers, also known as Gunhead, or Head. Probably Heat. It's Gunhede in Japan. Anyways, once again, complete view card manual. Both of these were only both of them $20 for both. And TG16 games were getting expensive at the time, so this was actually a deal. But that's not where the deal stopped. In fact, actually, they went on further. I bought this, which is the Dreamcast version of Street Fighter Alpha 3, as you can probably see. Complete, once more. Oh yeah. Complete. Box book. $5. And the thing that story is that me and my buddy were drunk. Now, he was drunk driving, and I'm surprised we didn't get pulled over. He claimed he wasn't drunk, but believe me, you could just tell by the way he was slurring his words. He was drunk. I was drunk, and I was there trying to strike a deal, and he's like, I'll tell you what, $5 is yours. I said, sold. Because this is, they say that this is actually the port of the Saturn version of Street Fighter 03. Amazing port. It's better than the PlayStation, hands down. Little loading, nothing. Another one I bought was this is one I really liked the series. Of course, is King of Fighters 2000. I think the case got fucked up though. Yeah, it's complete as you can see, but the case got fucked. I'm gonna have to replace the case eventually. So I like to keep my things in order if I can. Yeah, right here it got busted. So. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I remember it happened the first week I owned the game. I gotta use something called Utopia Boot. Yeah, that allows you to play it. And this one, to me, is the bastard of the series, but I bought it anyways from there. It's King of Fighters 2001. Complete. Has some of the worst music in video game history next to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The those were my purchases at Masquerade Games, and I really miss that store. It was a shame that when it closed down, but at the same time, this economy, it's rough. It really is. Like Omega Sin said, it's rough. Another game store that was that I really liked. It was more franchise based. There we go. Y'all remember Hollywood Video, right? Game Crazy. That was actually one of my favorite stores of all time in terms of franchises. In fact, when they were in business, I never stepped foot in a GameStop. But they closed down way too soon. But when you went into Game Crazy, at least the one by my house, they made you feel like you were a family. They made you feel welcome, and as a gamer. In fact, that was when I bought my GameCube. They wanted $10 less than what GameStop was selling it for a used GameCube. GameStop wanted $70. They only wanted $60. So I was like, "Fuck! Let's go to my bank account. Let's go grab $60. I'll buy myself a GameCube right now because I wanted one so bad, and I had $60 to spend." And then, unfortunately, that was the only amount of money I had in my bank account for that week, and I had to wait till the following week before I could buy some software. And now, well, back there, it's hard to see from this angle, but the third row down is basically PlayStation 2 and GameCube games. The rest is history. So the rest is history. It's all back there. The third, like I said, third or fourth, it's hard to tell. Third row down. So and I bought a shitload of GameCube games because, well, not to play System Wars here, but the GameCube was my favorite system in that generation next to the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was a fighter system paradise. Any fighters you wanted was on the Dreamcast, especially Capcom. Capcom was to the Dreamcast as Konami was to the MSX computer. Very heavily supported by both companies. It's just a shame we never really got anything from Konami on the Dreamcast other than Nightmare Creatures 2 and I think Air Force Delta, was it? It was so long ago to remember a lot of Dreamcast software, but it was good stuff. But Game Crazy, I got sidetracked. I apologize. It's something that happens with me from time to time. I get sidetracked. Game Crazy, like I said, they made you feel like an important customer. They loved when you came in there, and I got the GameCube cheap, and I bought my software a lot from there, and I remember buying Turok Evolution for $5 when the listing price was $15. But I was there as soon as the rates were going down, or changing, and they said, well, you want to pick up another game? I'm like, well, what do you mean? Isn't this 14? I don't have enough for another. Well, she put her finger over the one. She's like, this is how much it is. I was like, oh, well, okay. Well, let me see what else I can find here. Found Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube. In fact, I own all the Sonic games other than Riders for the GameCube. I got Collection, Mega Collection, basically the collection games. I'm retarded. So, yeah, I really miss Game Crazy. I remember hearing that they were closing, and at first I'm like, nah, they can't close. There's no way. And then sure enough, I go in there, and a lot of stuff's being cleared out, and I'm like, you guys really are closing, huh? And they're like, yep, Hollywood Video is going to be no more. Kind of broke my heart. And it broke my heart when Masquerade closed too, because there's, like you said, there's many different venues and games that deal in games and things of this nature that don't last very long because of this economy. It's like all these people that make games, game stores and places of hobbies, they close down very quick because no one has the money either to support their hobby or no one can afford to keep the building going because people got to think property tax, lot tax. If you don't make the sales, you don't make the money. If you don't make the money, you don't pay for the store. You can't pay for the store. There it goes. And it's really a depressing thing to see. I miss Masquerade. I miss Game Crazy, and the third one really wasn't that big of it, but it was a big when I was a kid. for me. There's really no name for it that I can recall, but there was a place called the Tri-County Flea Market. There was a guy there that actually had arcade games that were ready to play. Me and my brother would walk into there, he'd put a couple of the games on free play and said, "Hey guys, have fun, enjoy yourselves." He didn't want money from us, he just wanted us to have fun, even though we weren't buying anything from him. But it was cool that he had that was the first time I played Rygar, the arcade game. Rabbit Punch, I don't know if any of you remember that, I don't know if you remember that. Bubble Bobble, A City Connection. What else did I play there? Oh, there was a lot of stuff there, and it was just amazing. It was really cool. And the guy did make a lot of money. He did sell all those arcade games. He really did. And eventually, the Tri-County Flea Market went. It went. And then it became a factory called Flagstone or Flagship, something like that. And I heard they recently reopened the Tri-County Flea Market again. And I haven't been there because I moved from Michigan to Oklahoma, so. It could have been cool to see if they had anything reminiscent of the time I was there as a kid. And I just remember going in there, going where the arcade games were, and just having a blast. And it was a lot of fun. And my parents would be walking around. They had carnival food that you could buy, such as elephant ears and fried cheese. You know, I never had any, neither would my brother. My mom and dad, they would always buy the elephant ears because they were gung-ho about them. Yeah, but it was good times. We had corn dogs, me and my brother, but that was it, because corn dogs were cheap and, you know, whatever. Anyways, I just thought I'd make this video and share with my experiences with the game stores that I went to. And we talked games like you did, and we also discussed, you know, what would make the game world a better place. We were talking about how fanboys ruin the scene, and just all sorts of shit. And it was a lot of fun, I really miss Masquerade, I miss Game Crazy, and the Tri-County Flea Marketplace. And now that I'm down here, there really isn't many places, at least that I've seen, except the Retro BitCon where I met you. That was the only place that I've seen so far. And then there was, of course, there's Vintage Stock and Old Paris Flea Market, which was ghetto. But if you got a hobby and you want to support it or grow it, you got to, make the ventures out in even the scummiest, worst places that you could possibly think of. And like you said, the adventure is what makes it more fulfilling if you find something that is that what you're looking for. Most of the stuff I have back there, I found. My golden years for collecting was, I want to say 1997 all the way, until 2003. I found a lot of games. I've also did some deals with some games with friends of mine, and I had a lot of shit, and I still have a lot of shit, and I'm kind of reaching the stopping point of my collecting now, because it's getting, like you said, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting expensive. I'm not made of money, My wife's not made of money, and, we got bills to pay, just like everyone else. What I really want to do is, I want to get a flash card for all my systems. And all the games I don't own, go ahead and fill them up on an SD card and play them. I know you may not agree with emulation, but it's a big way to give this to all the sellers that are overpricing shit. Because fuck that. No one needs that shit. It's too expensive. With inflation, everything going up, can't afford it anymore. So, I'll figure out something. So far, though, if you look behind me, all the games and shit, all that, I'm not running out of material to play. I'm perfectly fine. And I also have almost a terabyte filled, a drive filled with games to play on my computer. So I'm not running out of material. So I'm okay. But I do like to collect. You know, like that's why I went to the Retro Pickon. I wanted to, you know, add more to my collection, possibly complete box. I got Battletoads. I got Willow. Let's see, Willow. I have a video showing what I got if you ever want to see that. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the bullshit. This is going on longer than I expected it to, but I tend to ramble, and I apologize for that. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope everyone else enjoys this video. Take care of yourselves, and take it easy, and happy gaming.